Hey, what's up? Hello. If you're new here, my name is Kayla and you're watching Kayla's Bookish Vibes. So I just sat down to film a haul and to show you guys my new bookshelf, my rotating bookshelf, which by the time this video is up, you guys should have already seen that. I'm sitting down to look at that footage to make sure I don't have to re-edit anything before I get super, cozy, crusty, and dusty. And I was like, oh, maybe I should film my monthly reading wrap up since, I'm here, I have the energy. And then I realized I read 3 books in the month of September. So there's really no point in doing like a whole sit down video thumbnail. So I figured let's just do a rapid reading wrap up. I read all of these books in a vlog, and this is perfect because the last book I didn't get to finish in my last vlog, but I have finished it since then, so we can talk about that. I do have a reading vlog and I will leave those linked down below for you of me reading these books. So In the Shadow of the Deadwoods, Letitia Redding. This was a buddy read with my girl Bryn D here on Booktube. She also has a Bookstagram account. I will leave all of her information in the description box. I enjoyed my reading time with Bryn D. I do feel that if I weren't buddy reading this with her, I probably wouldn't have enjoyed my time as much. It was just fun to go back and forth with someone in real time while reading a book and like bouncing what our thoughts are off of each other. I just really enjoyed reading with her. And also she completely vibed with my very chill buddy reading situation. Like it has to be real chill or I cannot participate. I ended up giving this book a 2.5. I won't get too much into this, but if you want to see my thoughts and opinions live, like while I'm actually reading it, please check out that reading vlog. So I ended up giving this one a 2.5. Next, These Heathens by Mia Mackenzie. 5 stars. 5 stars. Absolutely loves this book. Again, I did a reading vlog on this one. Please check that out for all of my thoughts and opinions on that. I have to read more by Mia Mackenzie. I need to look up what other books that she has written, and I need to go pick them up because I loved her writing style. I love the topic that she chose to write about. In this book, we are following a young lady in the 1960s who is having a baby. She is pregnant. She is in the family way, and she does not want the baby. So she decides that she needs to have an abortion. In order to do so, she must go to Atlanta. So this book takes place literally over a weekend, 2 or 3 days, I think. And I feel like the pacing of it, it feels like you're there for those 2 days that it's happening. It's kind of like fast paced, but not too fast paced, if that makes sense. Like you still get a fully fleshed out story. You don't feel like you're missing anything. You don't feel like you're rushing through anything. You do feel like you literally got an entire story, the conflict, and you also got the resolution. You just feel fulfilled after reading this book, like satiated, I think is the word that I'm trying to say. You feel satiated after reading this book, very satisfied. And I love when books can do that, when it can take place like in a day. Like the entire plot of the book takes place in 24 hours or like in just a weekend, and you still feel like, man, what a weekend. That's how I felt after reading this book. Like, what a weekend. I loved the historical figures that we got to see sprinkled throughout this historical fiction novel. I loved the exploration of hypocrisy and religion and what that looks like and what do you actually truly believe versus what you are taught and you just kind of go with the flow and take as your own thoughts and opinions. I loved it. I loved this book. 5 stars. You need to read it. This is definitely going to be on my top 10 book of the year list. I loved this book. And then the book that really took up all of my time this month was The Final Strife by Sarah El Arafi. No regrets. This is a brick, and I read this, I would say 50-50. 50% with my eyes, 50% with my ears. I forgot to mention, because I do like to let you guys know, both of these books were read with my eyes. So I didn't have an audio for either one of these. Kudos to me, because these days, honey, if to sit down and read a book with my eyes, like the entire book takes so much effort. So much effort. I don't think y'all realize. Okay, baby girl is not sleeping through the night. So every day I'm running on no sleep. So The Final Strife by Sarah El Arafi. Again, I read this probably 50% with my eyes, 50% with my ears, and I enjoyed my time with this. I do wish I could have read this entire book with my eyes because my reading experience was better reading it with my eyes. Loved it. I was able to finish this book with my eyes. The last, I think like 3 or 4 chapters, I was able to just sit down and like read, and it didn't necessarily end on a cliffhanger. I will say that's what made me, I ended up giving this book a 4.5, and it wasn't like a strict 5 star, only because the ending, I was like, nothing about that ending makes me want to rush to book 2. Nothing about it. The world building I thought was superb. I loved the world building and how everything was explained, and that makes me want to get into book 2 because I want to see how the world grows, but nothing about the ending makes me want to. There was the cliffhanger wasn't, I don't know, it just didn't leave me wanting to like immediately shut book 1 and open book 2. And I personally, especially when there's a series, you have to make me want to like rush out and buy book 2 right then and there, right? It didn't necessarily make me want to do that, so that's why I ended up giving it a 4.5. But literally my entire reading journey with this book, I loved. I loved our main characters. I loved the story that was told. We are operating in a caste system in this book, and that caste system is based off of your blood color. So we have our blue bloods, our red bloods, and our clear bloods. The blue bloods are our dusters. The red bloods are the embers, and the clear bloods are the ghostings. I really hope I remember that correctly. Anyway, it's based off of a caste system. So if you have red blood, you're at the top tier. Usually those are the people of nobility. And then you have the blue bloods, who are the dusters, and they're kind of like the worker bees of the society. And then the ghostings are the slaves, pretty much. So yeah, we've followed 2 girls. I'm really trying not to ruin this book, if you can't tell. We follow 2 girls as they navigate this system, and as they come to realize all of the horrible things that are wrong with the system, and then try to change the system from within. So loved this book. 4.5. I am definitely going to read book 2. I'm just saying the ending, I really wish that the cliffhanger would have been like, oh my god, immediately open book 2, and it just wasn't like that, you know. Here we go. That was my monthly reading wrap up for September. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. I'm about to sit here and edit this video and see if my husband will bring me home some food, because this video actually has to go up by tomorrow. I'll come back to you guys when we are doing something else bookish, and I will let you guys know what books we are going to be reading in this vlog. I am getting ready to join Lex Read's book club. You guys, I think I mentioned a few times at this point that she picked These Heathens by Mia McKenzie, and that was one of the books that I have been wanting to read. I was like, okay, I'm on a roll. I have been joining the girlies book clubs, reading along with their book clubs, and I love when the book club has a like virtual discussion instead of it just being on Fable. I said that if I ever get to the point where I can make the time to actually have a book club, that I would want it on Fable, but I don't know if I'm actually in love with Fable anymore. I like that the fact that we could all read at our own pace, you know, like everyone doesn't have to read at the same time, just as long as you have the book read by the end of the month, right? And I did kind of like the fact that you could go in and comment on people's comments as you're reading the book, like by each chapter. You guys know how Fable works. I don't have to explain this. What I don't like about it though is it doesn't necessarily feel like a book club. You're not all coming together at the end and discussing the book as a group at the same time. So I really do enjoy when a book club has like a, I guess, virtual meetup at the end of the month where you actually come together on Zoom or something and talk about the book. I did that with Brendy's book club when they read Can't Get Enough, and that was fun. It was like, yeah, we read the book, now we're all here talking about it, but it feels like it's an actual book club. Even though everything's online, it still feels like a book, as close to an in-person book club as you can get, right? So without actually being in person. So when I saw that Lex Reads picked this book, I was like, okay, I know she also does like Zoom meetups at the end of her books. Also, I don't know if I ever mentioned, but one of my goals was to read more books with book clubs this year, and I'm actually meeting that goal. So I'm waiting for that to start. It starts in about 20 minutes. So yeah, I'm excited to talk to them about that and see how everyone felt about this book. I loved this book, but I hopped on here really quick because I want to let you guys know what books we are going to be reading in today's video. So the first book we are going to be reading is Keeper of Lost Children by Sadeqa Johnson. That book comes out in February, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. It comes out in February, and I was able to receive the e-arc for it. I'm about 6%. I'm like nowhere in this book yet, so I won't even give you my initial thoughts yet. Excited to read this, what this book is about. So it says, lost in the streets and smoldering rubble of occupied Germany, Ethel gathers, the proud wife of an American soldier, spots a gaggle of mixed-race children following a nun. Desperate to conceive her own family, she feels compelled to follow them to learn their story. Ozzie Phillips volunteers for the Army in 1948, eager to break barriers for Black soldiers. Despite his best efforts, he finds the racism he encountered at home in Philadelphia has followed him overseas. He finds solace in the arms of Jelka, a German woman struggling with the lack of resources and even joy in her destroyed country. Okay. So maybe there's 3 points of view. I haven't gotten to Ozzie Phillips' point of view yet. I've only gotten to Ethel and I think Sophia. 1965, Sophia Clark discovers she's been given an opportunity to integrate a prestigious boarding school in Maryland and leave behind her spiteful parents and the grueling demands. In a chance meeting with a few classmates, she discovers a secret that upends her world. Toggling between the lives of these three individuals, so it is three different points of view. That's exciting because I've only read 2 points of view so far. Keeper of Lost Children explores how one woman's vision will change the course of countless lives and demonstrates that love, familial, parental, and forbidden, even love of self, can be transcendent. I'm excited. I've gotten Ethel and I've gotten Sophia. I haven't gotten Ozzy. So that's exciting that I'm going to get a whole nother point of view in this story. And I'm really interested in seeing how she's able to make them all three connect. Like I said, in the House of Eve, she did an amazing job making those 2 very different stories, 2 very different women connect at some point. So we got about 15 minutes left. I'm about to get caught up on some of the bookish girlies because it's Sunday. So everybody is uploading the girlies that I watch every Sunday. I need to see if they posted, and then I will come back to you guys when I've made, I guess, some more leeway in this book.
Join you guys in book club meetings, so I'm happy that I was able to join y'all.
Yeah, that's awesome. Glad you came. Yeah,
I'll have to come back next month. This was fun.
Yes, it was great having you, Kayla.
It's great being able to talk to you. I see you. It's like,
is it really a book club if all we do is like message on
text back and forth?
Yeah, it's not a book club.
I'm old school.
All right, thank you. Bye, guys.
Y'all, that was so fun. I loved it. I loved the discussion. I loved the, I won't say differences of opinion. I think we all pretty much had the same opinions, but I loved the range of people in the group. It felt like an actual book club. I loved that. It's so hard to like figure out how to do a book club because the whole like fable thing is cool because everyone can read at their own pace, but at the end you don't really get to discuss with the people who read the same book as you, so it doesn't feel like a book club. But this felt like a book club, and we laughed, we discussed the book. I loved it. That was so nice. All right, I'm about to, I guess, read because the house is quiet. I think everyone is gone. I don't know. My husband probably took them out so I could have some peace and quiet during this and nobody would come walking in. So I'm about to sit here and read this book while I have some quiet time. We're about to sit down and read some more of the book, and I need to give you guys an update. I am like confusing myself because I'm starting to film multiple videos for multiple books all at the same time. I think I'm confusing myself at this point. So we need to continue reading. Look at this. My Kindle is in this little pouch because I don't want it to get damaged, but it doesn't actually fit in here with the case and the pop pocket on it. We're about to get back into Keeper of Lost Children by Sadeqa Johnson. I'm excited to get back into this book. I've had a very full day. Doctor's appointments for kids. All the things. Clothes shopping for kids. All the things. So I just need to like sit down and relax. Unwind. Just for like a little while. Maybe give me like 45 minutes to an hour. So that's what I'm about to do. I'm about to sit down and read, and then I can give you guys an update on this book because I don't remember what the last clip I filmed for this video was. Let's get cozy.
In the hot cocoa?
Okay. I am enjoying it so far. If you have enjoyed Sadeqa Johnson's other books, I think you will also enjoy this one. Her writing style is still the same. It still reads very easily. I do love that we're getting 3 different points of view because it keeps the story interesting. Like each chapter is someone else's point of view, and I find myself loving them all equally. You know, typically when they write from multiple POVs, you kind of have your favorite POV. I think each one is interesting in its own way, and they're also different. And so right now they're all my favorites, which is really good. I'm enjoying it so far. I think that's really all I can say. I can't really give you any more of the synopsis other than what I've already given you because I don't want to ruin the book. But right now I need to go make my boys some hot cocoa. I told them that I would make them some. And they came up here to remind me that I need to make it. So that's what I'm about to do. I guess I will come back to you guys when we're doing something else bookish. I don't know if you got a lot going on right now. So it's Friday, getting cozy. I got Danny from Danny Reads. She's on TikTok live right now. That girl is a consistent queen, okay? But right now she's doing reading sprints and I'm about to sit down and read. So I thought this is perfect. I have my little Kindle stand here. I'm about to put Beyonce in that. And then we got Danny here on the shelf so I can watch. And you know, it's like we're reading together. So I can use my clicker. I haven't used my Kindle clicker in some time. I've reached part 2. So we are about 30% into Keeper of Lost Children by Sadeqa Johnson. Baby girl is sitting down here in her swing. So I guess I'll read for as long as she's, you know, able to stay content. I got my water. Plan on getting a big chunk of this read tonight. It's Friday. Danny said she's gonna be on till 8 o'clock. It's 6:11. So maybe I'll read for as long as Danny is on TikTok. Because I really want to get a big chunk of this book done. And hopefully baby girl will fall asleep in her swing. Because it's, you know, she's dozing off a little bit. So that would be so ideal. If I could sit here, read for 2 hours while baby girl sleeps. That would be so cool. We'll see if that's how it happens. Editing Kayla here. A few things. We've accidentally deleted some clips. But it is what it is. We're going to try to make it work because I've been filming for too long. So we did end up finishing Keeper of Lost Children by Sadeqa Johnson. And I ended up giving that book 4 stars. I feel like if you enjoyed The House of Eve, you will also enjoy this one. If you enjoyed any of her historical fiction, you will still enjoy this book. I ended up giving it a 4-star because I just don't know how much of the arc is going to change, if anything, in the final book. And I actually can't wait to get my hands on the final book so that I can compare. So many times I feel like publishers and authors give that warning, like, you know, an arc is an advanced reader copy. Things could change, names could change, things could be taken out, things can be added in. But I'm always like, I feel like it still ends up being the exact book that you gave us, like the arc. So I really do want to see if there's any changes in that. So I will be buying the actual book. But yeah, if you love her historical fiction, I think you will also enjoy this book. I tried to be really vague because I know this is an anticipated release for so many people. And I just don't want to ruin it or, like, you know, give any spoilers accidentally for this book whatsoever. So I kept it strictly to the synopsis that's already given to you, and just kept it about my feeling. I'm so mad that I deleted the clip where I actually finished reading that book with you guys. Along with that clip, I also deleted the clip where we started to read the book that you're about to watch me finish reading. And that is Zetas Till We Die by Amber and Danielle Brown. I had an initial thoughts on that book as well, but somehow that clip got deleted. But it is what it is. You guys are about to see me finish up that book. But I will say Amber and Danielle Brown has a new release coming out this year. It comes out December 2nd. I'll leave the cover of that book here. I feel like that's the perfect time to drop a thriller. Only because, like, towards the end of the year, especially in December, people are just spending time with their family, taking breaks from work, and, like, not a lot of reading is getting done. So if you are reading, you kind of want, like, a popcorn thriller, and I feel like that's what they write. So I am definitely going to be picking that one up in December. For me, I typically read a lot of Christmas novellas because they're short to read. I can complete them in a day. But then it gets to a point where I'm like over the novellas and I do want to sprinkle in a thriller. So that's probably going to be the thriller that I end up reading this Christmas, like in the December season. So keep a lookout for that release. This is my second book, my second novel, my second thriller that I have completed by them. And I've enjoyed them both, but you guys are about to see me talk about that. So yeah, let's get back to the video.
Each other for so long. I listened to their record's name. I roll my eyes because I know we all get through this, but I just was sitting on the sectional, close to the edge like this freaking messy mess during flight drinks. Lingers on the childhood photos of Lupe and me together. Lupe, he's never known. Lay floating out of existence like a firefly and flickers back to life.
Alright, y'all, I have just completed Zetas Till We Die by Amber and Danielle Brown. Take my bookmark out. I listened to this entire thing on audio. I think I'm going to give this book a 3.75. I really enjoyed it. I'm pretty sure I gave a synopsis. If not, I'm going to give another brief one. So we are following a group of line sisters. So all of these women pledged a sorority in college called, they were the Zetas, right? When I initially picked up this book, I thought a lot of the book was going to take place with them in college. I'm pleasantly surprised and happy that it did not. So a majority of this book, we are in the present timeline, which is like 10 years after they graduated. So they're all in their early 30s. So we've swapped back and forth, but majority of the timeline is in present day. We do get some points of view from them in their college days. When we are in the present day time, we are following Priscilla. When we are in the past, we are following Lupe, which was one of her line sisters. Lupe and Priscilla had been best friends since they were 7, so they were very close. This is not a spoiler because it's literally in the synopsis, but Lupe was killed when they were in college. So we're getting like Lupe's point of view before she was killed. Even though I figured out the ending, like I figured out who done it. Like it's a murder mystery essentially. We're trying to figure out who, you know, people are dying in this book. We're trying to figure out who's killing them. Figured it out pretty early on, but because the story was just so messy, I just kind of wanted to figure out how we were going to get to the conclusion. Like how I enjoyed the journey. Like I wanted to know, how are we going to get to where I know where we're going, right? How are we going to get to the destination? I enjoyed the ride. I will say there were multiple occasions where I was just like, listen, these women, these sorority sisters are Black. This was a Black sorority. So part of me was just like, there's no way that this is how things would have been done. There's no way that this is how things would have been handled. There's no way the things that took place in this book, there's no way that that would have been anyone, regardless of race. There's no way that that would have been your reaction, but especially a Black woman's reaction. There's just no way. But I did enjoy it for the unhinged good time that it was. And I definitely recommend, especially if you are looking for a book for this spooky season. It's a thriller, murder mystery type scenario. It's really good. Even if you're a scaredy cat, I think you will really enjoy this because it has much more to do with drama. Each woman is at a different point of life, but the main woman that we're following, Priscilla, is married, so she's going through marital problems. It was entertaining to watch that unfold and follow Priscilla as she's trying to work things out in her mind. I think you should pick it up. 3.75. I would even feel comfortable rounding this up to a 4. I just think it was, I can't give it a 4 because I figured it out halfway through the book. Like I knew what was going on, but I enjoyed the journey so much I didn't really care that I knew what was going on. Anyway, I really enjoyed this book. If you're looking for a thriller, especially an audiobook maybe, I really did enjoy the audiobook experience as well. So perfect book to listen to, you know, while you're cleaning, doing chores, all the things, especially this spooky season. 3.75. What other book are we supposed to be reading in this video? I have like, okay. So the next book that we're going to be picking up in this video, oh my gosh. I'm excited, but I'm also kind of scared. Okay. If you know, you know. The Good House by Tananarive. I have been putting this book off specifically because I wanted to read it in October. I wanted to read it in the spooky season. And here I am, ready to pick this thing up. I do have the audio for this, so I'm probably going to read both physically and on audio. This paperback feels really good too. It's like super floppy. So, and it's like in pristine condition. Like you can tell I bought this brand new. I don't even really want to mess it up, but it just feels so good in my hands. I don't know how to explain that, but if you're a physical book girly, then you know exactly what I mean. It just feels good in my hands. I'm scared to read this, you guys, because The Reformatory by Tananarive was one of my favorite books. Okay, it was my favorite book of 2024. And so now I'm like, I really just hope that this lives up to that, or at least gives me a 4-star. Like, The Reformatory was a 6-star read for me. So I'm like, oh man, my hopes are just up there. But I've also heard nothing but good things about this book. And so many people actually really like this book. And out of all the books that she has written, I have seen is a lot of people's favorite. So this is going to be the next book that we read in this vlog. I'm not going to start it tonight. I will probably start it tomorrow while I'm working, especially since I have the audio. And yeah, we're finally getting to this. This is on my TBR. This was on my 25 before 2025. This is a book that I said, listen, if I don't read anything else in 2025, I have to read this book. And so I'm glad that I'm finally getting to it. So yeah, I would give you guys my initial thoughts once we get, you know, into this one. herself a little breakfast burrito and an iced coffee. So good. We're about to start The Good House by Tananarive. I have it on audio on Hoopla, so that's what I'm going to be listening to it. That's the app I'm going to be using to listen to the book. Sorry, it's very early while I'm working this morning before baby girl gets up for the day. So let's see how much of this book we can listen to while we eat our breakfast and get some work done. I just got finished listening on audio to The Good House by Tananarive. I did a little coloring. I have been coloring lately with crayons and color pencils, and I'm so glad that I swapped over to that medium, I guess. At first I was coloring with markers, which, you know, is cool, but markers streak, and I just could not for the life of me figure out how to get them to stop streaking. Like this one, you can really see the streaks. Like in her hair, it's just super streaky, and I could not figure out how to get the streaks to stop. So I was like, you know what, this one isn't so bad. Like this one, the streaks are fine, you know. I feel like it just kind of maybe adds a little texture, but I think I'm just gonna go back to using crayons and color pencils and just like have fun, because that's what I really color for, is for the fun. I don't need it for it to be perfect. And I was getting irritated when it was getting streaky because I wasn't liking it. So I was like, let me just go back to the basics, which is crayons and color pencils. And they're so cheap. I don't know how I fell down the rabbit hole, probably because our phones listen to us. But I fell down the rabbit hole of coloring talk on TikTok. And these people were trying to get me to buy stupid expensive markers because they said that would stop the streaking. But there was no way anyone could ever convince me to spend that much money on markers. I was like, let me just go back to the good old. And so I just colored this with crayons and color pencils, and I'm like, yeah, we're going back to the basics. I think I'm going to get more colors though, because I didn't have like a lot of range for her skin color, and you know, I'm going to be nitpicky about that. So I'm probably just going to like buy some more color pencils and crayons that have like a wider range of colors. I'm excited. And I also never finish coloring a full page in one sitting. I don't like to, because usually that means I've rushed through it and I don't end up liking how it turned out. Like this, I probably colored 2 items at a time. So I'll probably finish this coloring page in like 4 sittings. I'll come back and maybe we'll finish coloring this page by the end of this video. Maybe not. But anyway, you didn't come here to talk about coloring. You came here to hear my thoughts on The Good House. We are 30% through this book. Y'all, in the beginning, I would say maybe like the first 2 chapters, I was thinking like, oh man, I don't know, this isn't like, which I don't even know why. Like for the first 2 chapters, you don't really know if you like any book within the first 2 chapters. So I don't know why, but I think just knew I was going to compare this book to The Reformatory the entire time. And I feel like I'm just not getting to the point where I'm like no longer comparing it to that book, because it's a totally different book. But you guys know I was obsessed with The Reformatory. It was such a good book, a 6-star read for me. So I think I was just like anxious that this wouldn't live up to that book for me. Is it giving 6-star energy? No, but it has since taken on an entire life of its own. Like I'm no longer comparing them, I don't think. This is about a haunted house. It's called the book is called The Good House. the house is not good. So you start off in the book, you get like dropped into the middle of something, and it just kind of giving you a background of the house and who owns the house previously, right? Then we get fast forwarded to like the present time, and we are following Angela. Angela is the current owner of this house. So a tragic thing occurs in the house, and then we fast forward even more to present time where Angela is grieving and she returns to the house. And when she returns to the house, some crazy things are starting to happen while she's at the house. There are so many characters in this book, but I don't feel like it's hard to follow. I do think that you can tell the time period that this book was written in just based off of some of the references. So it is kind of dated in a way, but I'm enjoying that. I say this is like 2006, right? So when I say it's like dated, I don't mean like, you know, super dated, but it is dated. But you can tell like the references within the dialogue and like how people are speaking to each other, that it's, you know, a little dated. Some of the slang that's being used by some of the youth in this book is a little dated. Some of the artists that they listen to, the music that they listen to, all of those things, it's just a little dated. But I'm enjoying that. I'm enjoying being in that time period again, because I was alive in 2006. I was a little teen bopper. I was 13 in 2006. So I'm enjoying the references because, you know, it's just reminding me a little bit of my childhood. I'm going to give you on a synopsis how I'm feeling about this book. Scared. This is the perfect book to read in the spooky season. I am just a little bit scared while reading this. Hence the reason I decided to color while I was reading the audiobook. If you're a scaredy cat, I don't think you would like it, but if you're into a lot of horror, you're probably also thinking that I'm being just a bit dramatic, especially if you've read this book before. But it is a little scary to me. Like, there's some scary stuff happening. And we know as the reader, we know that this house is haunted, but it hasn't necessarily been confirmed. But you just know, right? Like, you know, like, girl, you need to go. You need to get out of there. But obviously, we're only 30% through the book, and Angela is gonna have to find out for herself, and we as the reader are just gonna have to watch and yell at her through the book, just like you would yell at a screen in a horror or thriller movie. You're gonna be yelling at Angela in this book. Tananarive just knows how to tell a story. Like, she knows how to put you in the story. When I'm reading her books, I feel like I can hear what's happening. I feel like I can see what's going on. I really feel like I'm in the book whenever I'm reading her stories. So I love her writing style. She's a masterful storyteller. I'm a little scared right now at 30%, but I'm enjoying my time. We still have 15 hours 15 hours of this audiobook left, but I'm hopeful. I'm glad I got it on audio so that I can read it while I work. I can read it while I color, while I do positive things, you know. If I had to read this book physically, I probably wouldn't get through it in time to upload this vlog. So yeah, I will come back to you guys when I have another update on this specific book. I've been reading both ways. So I have the audio on Hoopla of this book, and then I've also been reading it physically. And honestly, I like both of the reading experiences about the same. I love when that happens. When I can enjoy a book either on audio or physically with my eyes, I love that for me because it gives me options. Currently on chapter, I'm just trying to make sure it's lining up because sometimes the audiobook doesn't line up with the physical book. I know, crazy. Okay, so I'm currently on chapter 10, and that's about 30% through this book. Am I enjoying it the same way that I enjoyed Reformatory? No. I'm not enjoying it in the same way, but I think I am enjoying it as much. The only difference is the Reformatory wasn't scary to me. Like, I know some people maybe have struggles reading that book just because of like some of the darker themes that are explored in it and some of the horrible things that were happening to those boys at the school. This is just scary to me. I don't enjoy just like being scared for no reason. So I'm kind of waiting for the message, or like waiting for, I feel like, the why. Like, why did you write this book? What is it that you want me? What is it that you're trying to convey to me? And if I know anything about the writings that I have read by Tananarive, is that there is a message there. I just don't think I've gotten to it yet. So I'm like, okay, I'm scared. Like, that part's working. But why am I scared here? Like, what is the underlying message? Although there are some important things, like some gems that I think have been like dropped so far, it's not really tying into why, it's not really tying into the haunted house aspect. My camera's about to die, but that's really all I want to say. I am enjoying my time. It is scary, perfect for October, but I'm just waiting for the message. Like, give me a reason to continue this book. Otherwise, I will DNF it, because I don't want to just be scared, just to be scared. Like, there needs to be a reason that I'm scared. Give me, what is the message? I hope I'm explaining that correctly. Like, there has to be a why for me to enjoy horror. I don't just like to read it for horror's sake. So I'm about to do an activity with my boys. We are currently making chili. I think I showed some clips of that. I'm making chili, and we're gonna have some cinnamon rolls with that later today. This is like my first pot of chili for the season. I love chili, but I only make it in the fall. So it's my first pot of the season. Been like a dinosaur unit in homeschool. So they should be about done wrapping up doing what they're supposed to be doing, like their independent work. And so we'll get outside in the backyard. It's such a pretty day too to do this. So maybe I'll get a few clips of that after I switch out my battery.
This is literally something. I got 9. It has feet. He's only on the feet.
Yo, oh, my battery is about to die. Let me check my battery and we can do an update on this book, child. We need to do an update on this book.
Okay, we're back. The stairs take me out every time the stairs take me out.
The Good House. I had a crash out on Instagram this morning. I'm not even gonna lie. I'm 50%. Sorry, they're sharpening pencils upstairs. Well, anyway, we're 50% through this book. I had a mini crash out on Instagram because this book was getting real scary. It's still very scary. And I was like, yo, I gotta DNF this book. I cannot continue on reading this book. And so I made a few posts. If you're not following me over on Bookstagram, you should. I will leave it linked down below. This is my app. Only if you're into books. It's literally strictly about the books. And sometimes I post what I'm reading as I'm reading. I actually need to message somebody back because what I love most about Bookstagram, somebody else was also reading this book at the same time. So they messaged me in my DMs and was like, hey, do you want to read this book together? Because they were literally in the midst of reading it. They were only a few chapters ahead of me. And I was like, yeah, I'm always down for a real chill buddy read. So she messaged me. She said she was gonna wait for me to get to chapter 26. I never made it to chapter 26, child. I'm now on chapter 20. But I was like, listen, go on without me. Go on without me. It's too scary. Many people messaged me and was like, girl, you gotta keep reading. It's so good. Yes, it's creepy. Yes, it's eerie. It's so good though. Keep reading. I know people make content for different reasons. I really just enjoy talking to people about books. And it's so funny because over on Instagram, if you follow me on Instagram, obviously you can DM on Instagram in a way that you can't DM on YouTube. So everyone is telling me like, it's 50-50, it's down the middle, baby. Some people are like, girl, keep reading. It's so good. Keep reading. And some people are like, girl, that's why I don't read horror. That's why I don't fool with that mess. I completely understand you wanting to DNF. Don't let us peer pressure you to keep on going because it does get more spooky in the second half. Shout out to you for caring about my mental. Again, you know your own limits. See, you know, a genuine, like genuine people, I feel like, is who I've been able to find in the bookish community. A chapter at a time. I'm just gonna take it a chapter at a time. And if I feel like it's getting to be too much, I'm literally just gonna stop reading the book. Like, I have the option. The thing about it though, not me literally burning lunch because I'm yapping about books. It's about a house where some very creepy, very eerie, very spooky, very scary things are happening. People are, okay? There are possessions. I think that's what's scaring me. It's like the whole possessed situation. Like the house, something has been unleashed and these people have no idea that they're doing certain things, but they're being possessed and doing things because of whatever was unleashed from the house. It's scary. It's real scary. I don't know if I'll be able to finish it. It's so well written though. Tananarive is a masterful storyteller, okay? She is going to give you a story and she tells it so well. That's what's making it really hard. Can you see the dishes in my sink? Ignore that. You guys know, if you judge, I will not bring you back down here. Y'all did real good last time, so let's just keep it up, okay? All right. She is a masterful storyteller, and I feel like she does such an amazing job transporting you to her story, immersing you in it, which is all fine and dandy, but if it's a spooky, scary story, you're literally scared physically reading her book. Almost as it, to me, it feels like I'm watching a horror movie, and I don't watch horror movies, and that's why this book is scaring me. So I don't know if I'll be able to finish it. I may come back to y'all and be like, look, I gave it the best try that I possibly could, and I just could not get down with it. It's such a good story though. It's like well written, and I think that's what's making it hard to DNF. Like if it was horribly written and it was still making me scared, I would DNF it, no doubt. But I kind of want to know what happens. Also, I picked this book up because like the Reformatory, I thought that there were like underlying messages, underlying themes that we were going to get in this book, which literally all the horror that I have read so far, that has been like the case. The horror novels that I typically read have messages, like have themes, and the horrific parts are usually just like related to racism. Not that racism isn't horrific, obviously it is, which is why it makes such a great horror novel. But that's easier for me to stomach because that's something that I have experience with, yeah? You know, unfortunately, that is part of something that I have grown up with, especially living in the South. So to watch someone take something like racism and make it horrific into like this entertaining story, I enjoy that, and I enjoy the messages that those stories have been able to bring. This doesn't have a message, no underlying theme. It is literally just a horror novel. And I've said multiple times on my channel, I don't like horror for the sake of being horrific. Like I don't like to be scared just to be scared. There needs to be a reason, an underlying message or theme that's driving the point here. And that's what keeps me reading. There is no underlying anything. Maybe we just scared. We just real scared. So there's that. I need to make my kids some lunch and we need to finish up homeschool. I will come back to you guys at the end of today. Tonight we will decide if we're going to finish this book or not. Again, I'm reading it on audio. I'm a little over 50% now. So it's like, baby, either read it or unhaul it because I'm scared.
Going anywhere soon. Rain in southwestern Washington was stealthy, thunder and lightning. This was a full-fledged storm.
I am done reading for the day. I was just listening to the audio while I got some coloring and relaxation. I realized I never showed you guys the finished page. Since we started it together, I will show you. This is how that page turned out. Love it. I gave her like a redhead moment and a ginger moment. She's trying to choose a new hair color, obviously. This little coloring book is so cute. It's called A Cozy Black Girl Coloring Book, Girl Erin's Beauty Supply Run. It is so cute because it literally shows without showing too many of the pictures. Each picture is like of different items that she's going to get at the hair supply store. And it's literally telling like a story. I love it. I think I only own 2 coloring books. I have this one and then I have like this one, which I've had a really long time. Scenes of like a country home. I realized I learned very quickly I don't like these types of coloring pages because there's too much detail in it. Like this would literally take me weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks because it's so detailed. I did start one and I never finished it. I literally never finished. I might go back and try and finish this. Probably not though. I don't know, maybe now that I have more colors and more color pencils, which if you didn't see, I did get some new color pencils and crayons. I got all the colors. However, I'm always printing off coloring sheets on Pinterest. Printed off 2 fall themed because I really wanted like a fall themed coloring page, and although these can be fall themed, they're too detailed. So I was like, just give me something cute and fallish. This is what we got so far. This is what I was working on while I was listening to The Good House, enjoying how this is turning out. Maybe I'll have this finished by the end of the book. About this book though, I still haven't figured out like what is the underlying message of this book. There may not be one. Y'all, I don't know. I don't know if I'll be able to finish this book. I think I may just have to look up spoilers. If I can find spoilers, I think I would rather just do that. Because like I said, it's getting kind of scary. And I'm like, listen, something is going on and I don't know. I'll come back to let you guys know either my final thoughts once I've actually finished this book, or if I decided not to finish this book and I just picked up spoilers. All right, guys, this is the end of the video. I know I'm like back to editing Kayla. Yes, absolutely. Because we didn't actually finish The Good House. We actually DNF'd this book. I tried to give myself as much time as possible to complete it, but I've just decided like, girl, you don't actually want to complete it. So don't. This is a DNF, but it's crazy because it's a DNF, not because it wasn't good. It was too good. If you are into scary books and you like to be horrified while reading, if you don't mind like spirits, possessions, get that book. You're going to love it. You're going to eat it up. I, however, am a scaredy cat. And I think I've just been given like this false sense of courage from all the other horror novels that I've been reading because those books weren't actually scary. This one is scary. And it just confirmed what I already know. I don't like horror novels that are just like super scary. You know, there has to be some sort of underlying theme or message. And I don't know if there was one because, again, I did end up DNF in this book. If I wasn't getting that message at the 80% mark, I'm just not going to get it. Okay. Again, if you really love horror, if you love to be terrified, if you love masterful storytelling, you're going to think this is a 5-star book and you should pick it up. Let my fear be an encouragement to you to pick up a book if that's what you're looking for. If you are a scaredy cat, baby, stay far away from this book, okay? All right. That's all I have for you guys today. Thank you so much if you stuck around to the end. I'm so sorry that we had some clips end up missing. We didn't even finish one of the books, but it is what it is. This was a very realistic reading. This actually was a 2-week vlog. It took me 2 weeks to do this. But a very realistic reading couple of weeks in my life. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you made it to the end of today's video and you want to let me know that you stuck around to the very end, please leave this emoji. You guys know it always helps out my channel when you watch the whole video all the way through. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and hype. And I will see you guys in my next video.